Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood, and today I am bringing you a 3 versus 3 battle that I played recently in Napoleon Total War. This battle is going to be fought on the Prussian Hills map. As always, one of my allies here is Mike and Huge, and our other ally is a random person that joined the game, the last admiral, and our opponents are JK451, Sergeant Yellow Pepper, and I did not actually get to read the other guy's name, but it was there so you guys could see it because the game loaded. Sergeant Yellow Pepper and JK451, I believe it was, are both people that I have played before in this game though. But for this battle I will be playing as France, and since there are 6 armies, I'm not going to read off all of them. Just know on my left here as Austria is Mike. And on the right, the last admiral is playing as Prussia. And as always, our rules are max 5 lights and max 1 artillery, no fixed. And so I do have an artillery unit. It's going to be a 6-inch howitzer. I have 5 chasseur units, Cheshires, and 4 Polish Legion. And then 1 guard seaman, 1 young guard, and 2 old guard. And then I've got 2 regular lancer units as well, and my general. Now, all of our opponents here are playing as Britain, and so I don't really know who's where, and I can't really keep track of whose troops are whose because once again they are all Britain. But you can see here immediately as this battle starts, I've got all my men sent to line up on this hilltop since this map is dominated, as you can see especially there, by this massive hill in the center. Now our opponents have not started moving, and all of us have. So at this point, just because of that start, we're pretty confident we will take the hill. And then if you look, we started like right here. They deployed a little bit farther back from the hill, and it is dead center, so the fact that they didn't move immediately showed us that they weren't really going to contest it, which isn't all that bad of a strategy, because in order to come into range of them, we're going to have to move down here where it is pretty much flat. So at that point, no one really has an advantage. Now, Britain made an interesting move, and this is all my opponent's cav here. I'm confident of that. Watch them move from here. He brought a ton of cavalry. He's still got a horse guard and a dragoons back there, but he's got 2 dragoon units and 2 light dragoon units that he's going to, rush this hill with. So I'm going to charge, get the downhill charge here with my lancers. And the last admiral is also sending in 2 lancer units, so it's 4 cavalry versus 4, and we're getting a downhill charge with lancers. Now Britain here is going to move his cavalry forward, and I'm going to stop to shoot them because he's trying to run by and get my lights. The reason this was an interesting move, generally, I mean, obviously my cavalry was on the hill. You send forward your cavalry just to secure the hill so your infantry can move up. Now, why he'd want to send forward his cavalry to secure the hill when it obviously can't hold it because the infantry's way back there not moving, I don't know. But right here you can see I have to move back all my men, and these guys are supposed to be in square. They were taking some time doing it, but you could see I had the order click, so Britain is running forward with his cav, trying to get my lights. It's not going to work. They're going to get cut down, and now the last of this cavalry is going to get mopped up. It's going to try to run out of there, and we're going to manage to kill one of the units. The other one's going to escape. We can't chase all that long though, because eventually we would end up in range of these foot units, and that is not something we want to happen. Now right here you can see this is the last admiral's opponent. I do believe, because my opponent has lights there, but he moved up these lights right along here. These are 2 fencible units and 2 King's German Legion Lightfoot, and we see this open, and they're kind of shuffling. They're not really in formation. They are actually going to manage to get off a quick volley, but it's really not going to do that much, and our cavalry is going to be able to crash into these units and do a lot of damage to them, and look at that. So that cavalry charge we ended up mopping up their cav and running down here, and now you can see these guys all getting ready to rout soon. Although now we are taking fire in the back, and what I'm going to do is pull out my cavalry unit and run around for a hammer and anvil strike. And here comes Prussia's Lancers. Gonna mop up those Dragoons that got away from us earlier. You can see my guys running around. And these Lancers charging these rifles. And my guys are switching targets here to these Horse Guards just to stall them. Because we're not gonna be able to shift in time. They would have gotten caught in the flank, so might as well face that. But we are going to rout 2 of these units. And we did damage the other ones, mostly this unit here, which is once again getting hit. So in the end, that ended up paying off. Britain still has a ton of cavalry, though. This guy's still got 2 more reserve units, and I kept 1 of my units back. But at this point, we firmly have the hill across the entire line. If you, whoops, didn't mean to click there. If you enlarge this, you can see our ring of troops there, Mike moving up down here, and I am moving up as well. I'm taking my time about it though, because I don't want my men to be tired, which they already are from running up the hill, so letting them get some rest before going into combat, since our opponents aren't really pushing anything all that vigorously. And those Horse Guards killing that Lancer unit there, so those guys are going to go ahead and back off now. And I believe right here you can see these are my lines. I was having a full line like out to here, but this British player does have his flank exposed, and there's a fairly decent gap. These 2 units are moving into it, but it's a rifle unit and a militia unit pretty much. So I am turning a little bit of my force to kind of be on this flank, and these guys are going to move up here a little bit more in a second. And I have a good reserve. Right here's a young guard and an old guard. And I believe all my troops are across the hill now except my general. My artillery's going to move forward and set up here soon. Got another old guard and reserve there. You can see my lines extending out to here. And Mike is going to go ahead and start skirmishing these light dragoons. Getting shot there as these guys are in square. They're not doing all that good of a job of getting out of there quickly. Gonna take a few more losses. But this is just gonna be a skirmish. Right here you can see I move forward my guys a little bit more now. We're gonna volley into these units. And I do have my line infantry in range of that too, so they're gonna be firing. This here was a little bit tricky because I had these lights out a little bit too far without support. So I'm charging back down my Lancers, and I'm actually going to manage to get them out of there just in time. And I'm going to have to square with my old guard. And look at that. I actually killed a decent bit of my own men there with my cavalry charge. That was a mistake. My old guard lost about 10 men just from that, 9 to be exact. But these Dragoons, once again, they're just going to ignore my troops and run through here and try to get to my artillery, which is a good thing that, like, Shogun does do this better. Overall, I much prefer Napoleon, but in Shogun, if a troop of cavalry tries to just run through another unit without fighting, they take heavy losses. Like, it's hard for them to just ignore it. That, you know, units tie down other units a lot better, but I'm going to pretty much lose my artillery there, so they're not really going to be effective this battle. So good job to whichever one of these British players that cavalry came from. And my cavalry still exists just a little bit, and I've got 6 guys, so I believe I am going to have them reman the guns and fire. Yeah, there they are. So I've got, it says I have 4 guns again, but I have 2 that are actually going to be able to work. And here my opponent moved forward. I don't know what he was doing with this unit. He's going to put this unit right here in front of this rock in between my 2 forces. So they're taking heavy fire while getting there, but this is a pretty much all-out engagement. I've still got my flank turned here, fighting these guys and shooting in on this flank, but Prussia over here is doing just fine, especially with that support from my troops on the flank. And you can see since this is no longer that big of a threat to me to extend my flank out this way, I'm shuffling some troops back So now I'm going to have a double line over here, and the fact that these guys are slightly higher up, they're able to shoot over the heads of my men in front and do some damage. And here, these guys, see, they're still supposed to be right there, so I don't know why they moved forward. And I don't know if I catch it or not. I think I do. Yeah, there. I was like, why the heck are those guys going forward? But at this point, it's pretty much an all-out line battle along the entire flank. I'm moving these lights out and around this way to get on the flank of my opponent. And all my men are in square because you can't see it because of the trees, but these horse guards are in here running amok. And I believe I didn't square my old guard because I didn't think they would get past 3 squared units. But my old guard's going to hold just fine against them, especially with these guys firing in. They didn't really get a charge on them, so that won't be all that effective. And I had these men on my other reserve unit line up to shoot down those guys that I said got in that little cubby hole of that rock. So now it's pretty much this flank here shooting out with all of these guys. And over here at this point, I've got this flank completely turned. And I've got more than enough reserves. My troops in front here are better troops anyways, so they would win. It's an old guard and a young guard with the support of a little bit of lights, and just having this Polish Legion on the flank and these lights behind them is going to really damage them. This guy's charging with his general, and I'm actually not going to get off a volley, so that's going to hurt me a little bit. But I believe I have these guys start targeting that general here soon. And you can see the flanking fire on these units. These guys are not going to last long now. Plus, once again, I've got this Polish Legion in the back. They're going to start firing in. And I'm shuffling this old guard unit back over to this flank. My men are doing fine, but this old guard's going to take the place of this Polish Legion here. And here comes some more British cavalry. Lifeguards back behind. Mike's running his general into my square there to save them, and my men are going to shoot these guys down. So they're just a little annoyance there. My old guard coming to line up. So this is the only flank where my opponent's meeting a little bit of success, and I'm really not in any trouble on this flank. And here you can see Mike's engagement. He's won the skirmish, and they've just got a big drawn-out line. And over here, Prussia has pretty much got this guy boxed in now, so he's stuck on this hilltop. There's not going to be a lot he can do. And that's the last of these guys in the center. They're going to go ahead and rout. Back here, I'm fighting a King's German Legion foot with one of my lights. And over here, now that that cavalry's out of the way and with these old guards backing up, this flank is now stronger again, and I'm starting to overlap. And these guys have just taken so much fire. And there you can see the 2 guns of my artillery actually doing a little bit. But now we've got these guys outflanked. And I think he's just going to go ahead and charge. There's not a lot that he can do at this point. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and rout. So, one across the line there. I'm going to leave the last admiral to mop up these British units because they're really at this point can't damage his force. He's just got too many men. And I'm going to start bringing my troops onto the flank of this British player. As you can see, Mike is now in just a straight out. Look at that. Can you do this in Napoleon? Oh, you can. It's a little bit... It's not as smooth as in Shogun. But we've got that cinematic zoom, so you can see all the fire going both ways there. And that is that. It's pretty much just kind of a little bit of a fish hook. Mike trying to get out on the flank over here, although this foot guard charge is going to halt that. So he's probably going to have to roll back his flank a little bit. And these men losing to Coldstream guards and foot guards. That volley there really taking a toll on these guys, though. They just dropped. That was a nice full volley. And yeah, these guys getting chewed up. And now there's my general charging in, taking out some lights. And at this point, we're starting to just surround this flank. You can see all my men falling into line, and here we're going to go ahead and deliver a volley pretty much all the way around. So my men getting ready to fire, and there you go, lining up. That's all right onto the flank of this unit. These guys are going to go ahead and rout under that fire on the flank. And although Mike is suffering a little bit of a setback over here, now with my troops there, there's really no chance for Britain. And as you can see, he is just routing these guys in the center. And there is one of my guard units, my guard seamen. They did a melee charge right in the center there and relieved some of that pressure and managed to rout that unit. And now here they go right into the artillery. So that's going to be the end of that artillery, which caused Mike trouble the entire battle. And that's pretty much it. The last of the British troops over here, just this Coldstream Guard. And we'll go ahead and fast forward, I believe. This general is just walking. He's going to go ahead and get shot. And that's that. So there's the statistics. You can see Mike there getting over 1,000 kills. I ended up getting the most kills there, 1,172. And that's simply because I was in the middle. So that allowed me to take part in all of the engagements. The middle player in these 3v3s, as long as they don't just get absolutely wrecked, you're in a good position to do a lot of damage, and I was able to turn the flank of both British armies and handle my opponent in the center there. So that's what resulted in that, and surprisingly I didn't take all that many losses. Mike there losing the most. He also deployed a lot. He deployed more than any of our opponents, but the last admiral deployed the most. But he had the toughest fight of it, straight out battle with artillery pestering him the entire time. And there it was, Sean 123FS. That is who I was not able to read off at the beginning. So good game to our opponents. Hope you guys enjoyed that battle. My best units there, Old Guard, Guard Seaman, Young Guard, Old Guard. So my 4 elite units, which makes sense. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed that battle. If you did, please leave a rating. And if you haven't, subscribe for more if you did enjoy. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.